Hello everyone, this is Paul Steinman, CEO of Endlessrise, and welcome to the VIP bi-weekly webinar series. We got a lot going on this webinar, so hopefully you have your popcorn and you're ready to go. Can everyone let me know, can you hear my voice okay? Can you see my screen okay? Any comments on audio clarity would be appreciated, so we can get that addressed in the very beginning, if anything. All right, everyone's saying sounds good, everything's clear, wonderful. And I'm just still promoting a couple support staff up and also pulling on the guest presenters, so hang with me here. One moment, let me see if I can get this in view. What we're going to be going over today, of course, you got the email. We're going to be going over a lot, actually. We're going to be going over a new way to track SEO progress, from rankings to average page rank to introducing our new analytics system. We're going to be talking to a couple guest presenters about the results that they've been getting. We're going to be talking about changes in the SEO industry and making sure that you are in alignment with the changes in the SEO industry, and not just with what's going on today, but with where SEO is going. And when I say alignment, I mean from setting sales expectations to milestone expectations and the whole 9 yards. So big webinar, a lot to be learned here. A lot of people have been asking for this sort of a webinar, and timing is really good. So I see a lot of people are still pulling on right now, which is good. And I'm still promoting a couple of guest speakers on. Had a problem unmuting someone. Okay, so we're going to get going here. So here's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with a couple testimonials with a couple guest speakers. If I can get the second one on, it'll go well. And I want to talk about just how some guest speakers are getting results. Of course, the guest speakers are partners with us in utilizing our services. But before we get into like how to handle problematic SEO campaigns and everything else, I want to reassure everyone that we are still getting good performance with our new SEO campaigns. So I want to welcome on Danny, who is also on a flash webinar that we had. Danny, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really well. Thank you, Paul.
Appreciate you being on the webinar while we're waiting for Martin to hop on here. Danny, I brought you on to commentate throughout the webinar, but also talk a little bit about the performance you've been getting. We've talked quite a bit, and you've been showing me recently performance metrics similar to how I'm going to be coaching people to be looking at them today and talking about performance. And you have a bit of a different view on the SEO industry, which is similar to my view on it and how to gauge performance. But can you talk a little bit about just the different type of way that you're looking at performance and the performance that you're seeing in the campaigns that you're running? And if you want to go ahead and talk a little bit about also how you like to combine services, because the way that Danny combines our services is fairly unique, and a lot of people don't combine our services and bundle them together for their clients the way that Danny does. And I think one of the reasons why he's getting such good results, one of them, is because of how he bundles them together. So Danny, take it away.
Sure. Thanks, Paul. So one of the things that I would say from obviously the SEO industry has changed, and I think that anybody and everybody probably used to talk about rankings a lot. About a year ago, I remember sitting in a meeting with a client, and we happened to stumble upon, hey, let's dig into analytics a little bit. And when we did this, we started to do it with all of our clients and look at organic traffic to the website versus and maybe take the brand name out of it. So take the company name out of it with a negative keyword. You can filter that out, and I know you're going to get into some of that today. But and what we noticed was, wow, we are getting some amazing results, at least double the traffic from that metrics alone. So we started to take a shift in our mindset to understand what does that really mean. And we have been coaching clients from then on. It's not all about rankings. It's really all about traffic and then how that converts. So does the bounce rate go down and things like that. So our focus is always on traffic, number one. That's how we look at it. As far as our services and how we package them, we obviously have always said it is we are SEO first. It's the foundational piece. But what we tried was a while ago. We started a couple campaigns on a Google Dominator. I think the exact question I got from a lot of people is why'd you pick that? Because that's just nobody does that. And what you have to understand is that Google gets through its own stuff faster. from links being built, or from information and things being out there. And I'm not saying that they value it more. I'm just saying that they get through it faster. So we have, and I'll give you one example, maybe as a case study. We have a website out there that we're working on that's brand new. It's a brand new domain. It's 4 months old. The domain is 4 months old. We built the site. Matter of fact, it was a templated theme site, so it's nothing special. And we put a Google Dominator on it and an advanced SEO package. That thing ranks for national keywords. So we'll talk a little bit about rankings from gauging it, but it is just taken off in just 2 months of marketing. So it took a little while to build the site, did everything right for the client. But in 2 months' time, it's just astronomical what's happened. And I know you and I looked at it, Paul, but it's pretty interesting as the relationship and a lot of things that happen in SEO and a lot of things that we talk about, you know, gain and attract natural links. Well, what does that look and feel like? And a lot of that has to be described as, you know, there's links to that website from the Boston Herald. I'm pretty sure that none of us went to the Boston Herald and got a link. So it goes back to the methodology of, hey, these services work because we are syndicating all this content across several channels and it's getting picked up.
And Danny, I think something to point out as well, I mean, because you have old campaigns as well that are different, but on the new ones that you're looking at, you're bringing them in, you're applying the SEO services, but you typically also apply some social media services for them through us. But those sites that are coming in that you're seeing perform the best, are you saying, I know that you agree because we've talked about it, those are sites that are coming in with a clean history. We're talking about like a clean slate on the SEO background, because SEO background right now really does matter a lot. The history that Google has on sites is shaky. So if you bring in a site on a clean slate and you apply these services to them, that's what we're really seeing. Sites coming in on a clean slate are performing really well underneath our new SEO services, and if you wanted to turbocharge them really, social media add-on, the Google Social Dominator services is what's turbocharging them. But the key phrase there is coming in on a clean slate. So,
correct.
Danny,
So,
do you do anything to ensure that whenever you're bringing in clients, they're coming in on a clean slate, or I guess we'll get into that a bit later.
We can, but I will say one thing, Paul. Even stuff that is from the past that's maybe not a clean slate, we have also found that just bringing that in, getting it on a new methodology, in 3 months' time, it seems to, I'm not saying it's a perfect world, because that stuff's still there, but it seems to start to correct itself. And again, it's traffic-based, and if I went traffic-based, I don't have one campaign that I would say I was upset with.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's a lot of people running campaigns with really difficult to understand SEO history, and one of the things that's really difficult on a case study, especially on the side of Endlessrise, is to be able to show people performance on our new SEO services, and even if they're turbocharged, that don't have a complicated SEO history, and how powerful are the new services without the muck involved on trying to differentiate that. And what I'm trying to get across to people is that sites coming through without a mixed history in SEO are performing really well out the gate on our new SEO services. So that's one of the things I wanted to get across. And let me see if I can pull Martin on. I am not able to unmute Martin. I do not know why. Ever since he hopped on here, I have not been able to unmute him. Let me see if I can... I do not know why. It won't let me. Well, I'm going to move on. Anyhow, Martin, sorry you're not able to talk. I wish that you were. I appreciate you hopping on here. But Scott's actually saying he had the exact same problem go on a webinar last night, so I guess it's a problem. Oh, okay. Ricky's saying to have Martin unmute himself. Martin, can you try to unmute yourself on your end? If you're muted on your end, maybe I'm not able to unmute you. I'll try to unmute you for a little bit before people get aggravated waiting on me to do this and start dropping off the line here. So, yeah, it's just locking up. So Scott was saying he had this problem last time. So I apologize, Martin. Wish you could be on talk. I'll talk about Martin's story anyways. Martin came on board with us years ago, and then he built a bit of an in-house staff. And then what happened is he came back. He had a problematic client, and he needed them to get ranked. And he came back on with a national client, and what happened is over the course of 3 months, he was able to get his #1 rankings back. Now, that's not going to happen with everyone that has problematic rankings, but he was throwing software at it, he was throwing the book at it, he was throwing every single thing that he could purchase out of it at it, and he came back to us and fired up his campaigns because he was trying to make, outsource more stuff and make a higher profit margin. He's got an awesome ranking success story with a powerful national client that he could not get to work on his own after trying on it for, I think, over a year. So that was a really powerful success story. I wish Martin could have been on to talk about that himself. So my main thing to convey to everyone out there is that you can trust our new SEO services. You can trust the methodologies that we're using right now. They are good. They are conservative. And we're going to talk a lot about why. So let me go ahead and get on into this, and we'll talk a little bit more in the end, more about the Google Social Dominator and Advanced SEO combination, because that's a really powerful service set combination. I think a lot of people don't understand why it's so powerful, but as we get through this webinar, we're going to address why those services together are so powerful. And as we get through this as well, and Danny will be on the line to comment with me, we'll explain more on how the industry is changing and why the Google Social Dominator plays into that so much. And stay tuned as well till the end, because at the end I'm going to be giving away a promo code on a service to help you audit SEO campaigns and help you close clients, right? It's just a promo code, right? I'm not trying to sell you anything. Okay. Getting on from here, death of traditional keyword ranking reports. This probably got a lot of people's attention. In regards to death of traditional keyword ranking reports, how do I define traditional keyword ranking reports? One definition to it is that crawlers are used to populate those ranking reports. Our current keyword ranking dashboard, that if you click into it, it will give you a prompt message to tell you to start using Google Webmaster, and that we're releasing our new metrics program anytime this month, which I'm going to demo for you today, is going to be is on the new type of technology, which is pulling data directly from Google and directly from Bing. If you're tracking rankings off of a system that's running its own crawlers, you're running on a traditional keyword ranking dashboard. If you're running a system where you have to enter in the keywords to tell it to track, and those are the only keywords that it's tracking, you're running on a traditional keyword ranking dashboard. If you're running on a traditional keyword ranking dashboard, you're already outdated, and you really need to pay attention to this webinar. And what are some of the reasons why traditional keyword ranking dashboards are outdated? Well, as per Hummingbird really took efforts to include to analyze your content in a different way, to show you results that are not so specific to exact keywords. So you're getting results that maybe you type in, best pizza restaurant in Houston, you're getting some results for maybe Italian restaurants, right? And that might be even in their title, and that was Hummingbird. So keyword variations and synonyms are important. So therefore, if you're only tracking exact keywords and you're not tracking the synonyms and keyword variations, you're not showing the value that you need to be showing to your client. Also, whenever Google tracks searches, they're tracking it differently from mobile devices versus desktop and laptop devices. Traditional keyword ranking dashboards do not differentiate between the two. They can't. They don't know how. Returned results with geographic qualifiers. Whenever you're returning results with geographic qualifiers on a traditional keyword ranking dashboard, you have to remember that results in Google, if it's for a geographic area, like you type in, I don't know, Denver plumber, it's going to give you a different result based on where your IP address is at. It's going to give you a different result based on if you're logged into your Gmail account or not, and traditional keyword ranking dashboards cannot detect that. Tracking keyword rankings by subject-based theme. You need to be able to track by subject-based theme as well as a geographic-based theme so that you get the whole kit and caboodle and understanding how you're progressing on your keyword theme relevancy, not just for the exact ones. Rank versus conversion analysis. You need to be able to understand how many impressions you're getting versus how many clicks you're getting versus where your average ranking position is now, to be able to identify what's impacting your conversion. And it depends on whether your rankings were in the maps, if it was showing reviews, if authorship markup was tagged on it, and if the results had site links on you as well. That has to do with conversions. If this is getting a little bit overwhelming, it's probably a good thing, because I'm telling you all the differences on the new type of tracking we're going to be going over versus a traditional keyword ranking dashboard. So if I'm saying a lot that's different from the traditional, that's a good thing, because everything that I'm saying and I'm going to show you to do is going to allow you to retain your clients more, because it's not the traditional. It's better. You also, on traditional keyword ranking dashboard, you cannot track long tail keywords. And when I say long tail, I mean a large diversity of them. You can't see the entire picture. No ability to track average page ranks, not Google page rank, but the average rank of a page. So if your home page were displayed in the organic search results over the last month, when all these different people typed in a total of 350 keyword phrases, where did you rank on average for that page? Not per keyword, for the page, for all the keywords that brought it up. Completely different type of ranking psychology, and there's only two people that are going to be two identities that can show you that kind of data, and that's direct from Google themselves and Bing themselves. Which brings us to a beta preview. But before I go to the beta preview, and I'll get it set up right now, Danny, can you maybe talk a little bit about what I went over with traditional keyword ranking tracking versus the new that I'm going to be going over? And for right now, if you just want to reference how you track it through Google Webmaster, because I know you're a big Google Webmaster guy, and I know that you stopped tracking with the traditional ranking dashboard quite some time ago. Maybe if you can just comment on that a little bit.
Yeah, I think exactly what you said. We use Google Webmaster Tools. Obviously, we look at rankings on I don't know if everybody knows, but it works on a monthly basis. So basically what your average rank has been for the last 30 days. The Hummingbird update was probably the biggest update that really started this trend with rankings. So, you know, it's just so fantastic to be able to show somebody that I've got a national client. I won't say who it is, but they rank. They have a keyword set. Let's say one keyword set is 3, right? So as in our philosophy, and in that keyword set, they probably have 50 keywords that they rank for, and even on the first page. And there's just so much more to it. So a keyword is not a keyword. It's more of a category. Is almost how I would describe it. So that's and really when people understand how traffic comes to their website and where the traffic's really coming from, then I think that the value of SEO is even more. You know, how much comes from, and that gets more into analytics, I know, but it still is, when you have 50% of your traffic coming organically, no matter what that looks like, that's where that's where the growth goes. And most people that have never done SEO probably have an organic of about 20%.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot more that you can see. So I'm going to beta for everyone Monster Metrics, and I'm also going to cross-reference Google Webmaster to show you how you can use both, and I'll show you why it's more convenient to be using the metrics program that we're going to be releasing. But of course, as always, just like with any traffic analytics program, you're going to see more in Google Analytics, and for Webmaster type tracking, you're always going to see more in Google Webmaster. And why? Because the data that exists in Google Webmaster or Bing Webmaster or Google Analytics, not 100% of that data is available to be pulled out through API. And that data is from Google, and that data is from Bing, and there is no better data than what's coming from the search engines. I don't care who you are. No one has better data. And if they don't make all of their data 100% accessible through an API to be pulled into another system, I don't care who you're talking to or what they say, no one's going to have more comprehensive data in Google Webmaster, Google Analytics, or Bing Webmaster. And so I'm not, with the metrics program I'm going to beta for you, I'm not going to be claiming that it has more data, but I'm just going to say it's a bit more organized and not organized. It's just easier to view, and it's not as cumbersome. So what are the SEO statistics that you want to be tracking, first of all? And yeah, this is in Google Analytics, but you also want to be able to take credit for this type of traffic. So what are the main traffic sources? You have direct traffic, you have your organic traffic, you have your social traffic, you have referral traffic, and you have paid traffic. You have all of those different arenas of traffic coming in. And my questions to you are you taking credit for your client's traffic to show the value of what you do? And not just organic, all of them. Maybe not paid unless they're running paid, but all of them. Do you know how to justify taking credit for their traffic as generated by you? Make sure that you show your value in totality. You must be able to relate total traffic to your efforts, and if not, you need to think about the marketing services that you're offering, because if the marketing service you're offering is boxing you into a corner, maybe you need diversify your product set a little bit. Direct traffic, as we're going to be going over, is in regards to PPC retargeting as a way to take credit for direct traffic. Does anyone not know what I mean by that? Direct traffic. I'm talking about services that would allow you to take credit for the different type of traffic sources. So if you wanted to step in and take credit for direct traffic, you're talking about PPC retargeting. If you want to take credit for organic traffic, we're talking about SEO, local buzz, social media even drives organic traffic, primarily SEO. Social traffic, of course, that's social media optimization and the client involvement as well. Referral traffic is generated by SEO and local buzz, and paid traffic is generated by PPC and retargeting. And then, so those are the SEO stats that you want to be going after. And on the ranking statistics, you want to talk about rank impressions and clicks. But before I get too into that, let me get through this beta on here. This is the dashboard in beta version, and this is the metric system that will be released and replacing, should be by the end of the week, your current keyword ranking dashboard. And this is also a system that I'll be giving people an opportunity to in the future to have your own free credits into this. So what this is this is a system that combines 3 different tracking metrics of your client. This system combines Google Analytics, Google Webmaster, and Bing Webmaster. It combines all 3 of them, and it shows you pertinent information. So, and this is still in beta right now, but I'll show you total traffic, total impressions, and the number of crawl issues you have, and the number of Webmaster messages that you have. Pretty cool, huh? So on the graph, it's going to show you a 5-month traffic breakdown, organic, referral, direct, social, and paid, which you should be used to seeing this inside of, right? Google Analytics, right? But it also gives you an easy-to-view graph overview. One of the problems with Google Analytics is it's so overwhelming for clients to come into, and at the same time, if you're trying to present yourself as a custom consultant, if you're, for instance, which I'll be coaching a lot on this next month, if you're wanting to be able to even get your foot in the door and sell tracking and light consultation services to clients that might not be ready to close on an SEO campaign, it's a little bit awkward to let them know that you will charge them a minimal fee for setting up their Google Analytics, Google Webmaster, Bing Webmaster, and looking at it. But if you can combine all of those into an interface and bring it to your client and display it as your own technology and go through it, that's a completely different ballgame. It allows you to really get your foot in the door with them as a technology tracking and reporting company to give some light consulting on. So keep that in mind. So the client would come into here, right, and they would see an overview of their traffic stats. On their overview, does anyone have any idea, based on the design of this, on why it does not show their rankings on the overview? Anyone? Danny? Any idea why we wouldn't show them rankings on the overview? Nobody? Any shout-outs? Did my audio go bad?
Sorry, Paul, I was muted.
No problem. Chris is giving a shout-out saying, yeah, why wouldn't I choose to show rankings on this overview as a primary feature to be paying attention to?
Because you don't know what the rankings were. I mean, it can be different from different IP addresses, different locations.
Right. Well, this dashboard will show it, though. It's because we want them paying attention to traffic. You want them paying attention to traffic. What you're going to learn in this webinar is I'm going to be coaching you on how to take responsibility for traffic. And in search engine optimization, traffic is a byproduct of rankings. Rankings are getting much more diversified in their tracking, and you want to front load with traffic statistics, and you want to learn how to take traffic for the 4 different primary arenas of where that traffic is coming from, which is organic, referral, direct, and social. If they're running paid, then they're running paid, but a lot of clients are not. Okay, so what are we front loading with on what we're showing them? Their traffic and traffic statistics. That's what you always want to front load with. So this gives the traffic statistics over the last 5 months on really easy to read graphs. Does anyone see this as not easy to read? This is very easy to read. And up here up top, if you wanted to narrow down on any of these, you can remove some of these lines or add them if you want to. And what we'll be coming out with in the future is more widgets to drop in here. But for now, it's very simple. Here's your organic, here's your direct, here's your referral, and here's your social visits. Cool? Now check this out. Now off of these, there's a drill down button on each, and there's also a drill down buttons on the side. Watch what happens when I hit organic drill down. It's going to open up this window, and it's going to load up the organic drill down. Very simple. Populates, real sleek, populates over the last 30 days. So you can change the date range, and now you can get into checking all their keywords. And this is going to have the visits, percent new visits, bounce rate, page visit, and average visit duration. This is Google Analytics, right? Not going to try to say that it's not. It's just in your format on the drill down on what they need to see, right? James is saying he doesn't see anything. Maybe it just is moving too fast. Okay. Now on the, I got a comment on the, oh, okay. Sorry, let me just clarify this. I got a comment on saying how the graphs are going from right to left on the dates. That will be flipped around. Keep in mind this is in beta. That was one of the things they're still working on to flip. So I got the organic drill down. Real straightforward, right? I don't need to spend a lot of time on this. Now from here, what do I have? I'm going to click on the drill down for, this states that this is direct traffic, right? So I'm going to go, and I can even click up here for, I'm just going to, I'll just show you these. That's organic. This is a drill down for referral, quick drill down. It will show you all the traffic that's coming from referral. How do you take credit for referral traffic? How do you take credit for that? Are you giving them more referral traffic? If you're just showing people rankings and organic traffic, that means you're not taking credit for referral traffic. How do you get referral traffic? Look at this. We got Yellow Pages, Google.com, Local.Google, Dogpile. Are you responsible for that? A lot of it? In the SEO packages, what's included in SEO packages? Press releases, distribution to different social sharing sites. We also put out promotions. We put out, what else do we put out there in social media? Directory listings are set up as well. And if anyone's going to be picking up any, yeah, go ahead, Danny. Off-site blogs. Yeah. Just
blogs and syndications, yeah.
Blogs and syndications as well. So you need to take credit for referral traffic. If you're not, then you're not showing the client the overall picture. And if what you're front-loading with on your reports to them is a keyword ranking dashboard, you're not front-loading with the larger picture. So that's referral traffic. And then we have direct traffic. Now, direct traffic could be, direct traffic is where I push PPC retargeting a lot. Now, on direct traffic, that's the one that's difficult to take credit for. Why? Because it's direct traffic. What is direct traffic, by the way? That's whenever you go into the search bar at the top and you type in their domain name.com and you go directly to their website. How would you take credit for direct traffic, which everyone should be? Run a PPC retargeting campaign, which is not expensive. And what PPC retargeting does is it takes every single person that's landed on that website, and when they go anywhere else in the Google Display Network, it puts a banner right in front of their face. And Google, and most people don't click on those. So you get a tremendous amount of branding impressions through the PPC retargeting display ads. And it's very, very, very low cost. But what you're doing is to every single person that went direct to that website, you're holding a banner in front of them as they click around online. Always redirecting them back to that site. And the majority of people actually don't click on the banner, but it stays in their head and it increases the retention of their memory of that client. And when they go back to that client site, they put in the domain name the majority of the time in the URL to go direct. Retargeting is brand optimization through banners to push them back direct to the site and not necessarily by clicking on the banner. Does that make sense to everyone? That's the only way I know of to conceivably take credit or even partial credit for bringing and driving direct traffic back to a website, which is PPC retargeting. Important. So here's retargeting statistics. And if you're running PPC, or here's direct traffic statistics. If you're running PPC retargeting, you can take them to here and take credit for that traffic. Remember, a lot of client retention is showing them what? Value for what you're doing. And if you're running PPC retargeting, taking partial credit for their direct traffic, that's not a lie. That's legit. It really is. You run a PPC retargeting campaign and watch that you show thousands of impressions. It's just, there's a reason why people put up huge billboards on the side of the road to always drive people directly. They don't even put their website domain name on there. They just put up big billboard, something about their company, drive people like crazy straight to there, okay? And then there's the drill down for this social network traffic. This is pretty cool. If you're running some side social media services, or like me and Danny will talk about a bit more on why the Google Social Dominator is so cool, this thing will track how many clicks your client's website is getting directly from social traffic. And also, as part of the SEO campaign, do we publish out to things like their Twitter and some of their social sharing accounts, like Reddit? Yes, we do. That's part of the social media. I'm sorry, that's part of the SEO campaign. If you're running social media, obviously. But even part of the SEO, we're also utilizing some social media. So you should be taking credit for it. But if you're not showing them these stats on their overview when they come in and front-loading they're just going to start looking at rankings, but they're not going to be looking at the overall value, which is much more than rankings. So is this making sense? You can take credit for a lot of that traffic, and as you should. Then we have a drill down for paid search traffic. If you haven't associated your Google AdWords account with the Google Analytics to track this, it will not populate, okay? So let me get back to this overview here. That's very straightforward, very simple for you, so it's a cool overview. Now let's get into the traffic by keyword. This is the new keyword ranking dashboard. Okay, and this is what we're going to go back to the PowerPoint and start talking on a lot, but this is what you really want to pay attention to. And while I'm looking at this, I'm also going to be showing you inside of Google Webmasters, when you go to traffic and search queries, the same thing. Okay, so this is available inside Webmasters right now. If you want to rely on Webmaster data, you can do that. So this is the search queries from Webmaster, and inside of the metrics program we'll be releasing to you. Here it is inside of our metrics program. So it says Google, and we're inside of here, and it's showing you the date range that it's populating for. And one of the biggest differences is between this and the other keyword and a traditional keyword ranking dashboard is how many keywords are being tracked, the total number of keywords. Now the total number of keywords being tracked is 271. How many of you who are running a traditional keyword ranking dashboard track 270 plus keywords? Can I get a shout out from anybody? Is anybody out there using a traditional keyword ranking dashboard and you're tracking more than 270 keywords? Nope. William says 25 tops. Not me. Nope. Nope. Do you see any difference between tracking 20 keywords and tracking 270? Does anyone see any difference between that? A really big deal. So how does this work? The way that this works is every single keyword that someone types into Google and your client's website shows up anywhere in those search results, Google will put that keyword in their tracker automatically. Does that make sense? Is everyone following that? Every single keyword search that your client came up in the search results for is entered into their tracking system to track their keyword rankings automatically, day to day to day. You know how insane that is? You could never do that with the traditional keyword ranking dashboard. You would have to sit there every single day, go into the old Google Analytics, look at the keywords that's being searched through, and every single day you'd have to automatically add them in, and you'd have no history on it. There's no way you could do all of that. So whenever you're looking at value on this, we can talk about a couple of different things that's different. One, you can have two identical keywords in here. One of them might be tracked from a mobile browser, from someone that's on a mobile device. One of them might be tracked from someone who's on a desktop device. Two, there's average ranking positions that have decimal values on them. Like for this one, Get Bent Sport Fishing, their average rank is 4.5. How do you rank at position 4.5? You don't. It's their average rank because they show up differently in different locations based on what IP address is being searched, based on if they're logged into a Gmail account, based on what their search history is on personalized results. So there can be decimal positions on average keyword rankings, right? Okay. Now, on this, you have the number of clicks that came as a result and the number of impressions. An impression is if they just showed up somewhere in the search results. A click means they clicked on their site, and the average ranking position is their average rank. If that's not straightforward to you, let me know. An impression just means that they showed up at their average position on that impression. Oh, no, it's the number of times that they showed up. So on this one, for example, Get Bent Sport Fishing, 85 searches were done surrounding that keyword. They got one click off of it, and they're at an average ranking position at 4.5. Okay, does that make sense? This is a lot of value to show to a client. Now watch this. If you are only tracking 10 keywords, you might have a hard time showing them ranking improvement. Now if I click on the average position of the rank,